From Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, March the 1st, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Police tonight confirming the identity of 47-year-old Rochelle Butterfield from Pembroke as the woman who died this morning as a result of a road traffic accident. And they report that her 51-year-old husband, who was the rider of the motorcycle in which Mrs. Butterfield was pillion passenger, has been arrested on suspicion of impaired driving. The incident happened at around 1:30 this morning in St. George's when the couple were headed in a westerly direction on Kinleyfield Road. Emergency personnel were immediately dispatched to the scene. However, despite Mrs. Butterfield receiving CPR at the scene before being taken to the hospital in an ambulance, she was later pronounced dead. A full investigation into this fatal collision, which represents the second fatal road accident of 2017, is now underway, and any witnesses are urged to call the police at 295-0011. Our sincerest condolences go out to Mrs. Butterfield's family tonight. In other news, Attorney General Trevor Manes files legal proceedings against Zane De Silva and two other former trustees of the Port Royal Golf Course. This follows an investigation into issues highlighted in a special report of the Auditor General on the Port Royal Golf Course redevelopment. Gary Moreno has been following the story and brings us up to date in this report.
The special report of the Auditor General on the Port Royal Golf Course Capital Development Project, you may remember, was published in 2014. After which, Mr. Moniz reveals he launched an internal investigation into matters highlighted therein, focusing on claims of self-dealing by trustees. Mr. Moniz claims companies linked to former trustees Zane De Silva, Wendell Brown and Delano Bulford supplied goods and/or services during the refurbishment of the Port Royal Golf Course, but never properly declared their interests or recused themselves from the board's decision-making during the project. Island Construction Services and SAL Limited are also named as defendants in the matter filed earlier this week. Mr. Moniz argues the three former trustees profited at the expense of government in breach of their fiduciary duties and did so without obtaining government's permission. Government, Mr. Moniz maintains, is entitled to any profits made from these arrangements and to obtain any secret commissions earned. A source close to Mr. De Silva, meanwhile, suggests the former minister dismisses the claims against him out of hand and describes the announcement from the Attorney General as the culmination of what they refer to as the witch hunt that was the recent Commission of Inquiry, at which issues surrounding the Port Royal Golf Course redevelopment were raised. That individual expressing confidence that all was above board with the development, with the board and trustees acting in accordance with the financial rules which governed the Quango at that time. Rules and regulations which were again also highlighted during the Commission of Inquiry last year. That person contends this appears to be all about one thing and one thing only, that being the next general election. Meanwhile, Mr. Moniz says he will not provide an ongoing commentary on these proceedings, but he will robustly litigate the matter before the court, which he says is the appropriate forum. This, he adds, is part of government's efforts to protect taxpayers and to uphold and vindicate the rule of law. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Meanwhile, Mr. Moniz says he will not provide an ongoing commentary on these proceedings, but he will robustly litigate this matter before the court, which is the appropriate forum. This, he adds, is part of government's efforts to protect taxpayers and to uphold and vindicate the rule of law, end quote. In court news, a 58-year-old man today admitted to 18 counts of sexual offenses against 3 boys dating back to the 1970s. In the Supreme Court today, Southampton resident Quinton Wendell Baxter pleaded guilty to the offenses, including indecent assault, gross indecency, and buggery between 1970 and 1985 against 3 different boys. Baxter, represented and defended by barrister Elizabeth Christopher, requested psychiatric reports to be conducted before he is sentenced. Agreeing to the request, puisne Judge Carlisle Graves remanded Baxter to custody, and the matter was adjourned to the April 1st arraignment session. In other news, do you have one of those new Bermuda passports printed in the UK? Well, you might want to listen up. They may not be able to enjoy visa-free travel to the United States. At least that's the complaint reaching Bermuda Broadcasting News from individuals who say they were forced to obtain an ESTA visa waiver. And what's more, local authorities knew about the problem but didn't inform the public. Gary Moreno gives us the details.
Irate callers to our newsroom who asked not to be identified claimed that upon attempting to use their UK-issued Bermuda passports to travel to the US recently, they were advised they would need to obtain a visa. It appears many of the passports issued starting in the spring of last year carried a new code, GBD, which from what we're told identified the holder as a UK citizen, as opposed to the former code BMU, which we understand was unique to this country. Bermuda passport holders who contacted us complained the situation was not only inconvenient, but also costly, since it meant having to change their travel plans and book new flights, which came at a price, in some cases as much as $200. One travel agent we spoke with stated government has been made aware of the problem, but for reasons unknown has opted not to inform the public. Well, that all changed today, as when we contacted the Immigration Department, we were duly informed that the Bermuda Passport Office at the Department of Immigration is aware of the current issue with the new BOTCO Bermuda passport and has had discussions with Her Majesty's Passport Office, the Deputy Governor and the U.S. Consul General with the aim of resolving the problem. A spokesperson for the Immigration Department confirming to us that holders of the new passport are being told by authorities of various countries that they will need a U.S. visa to enter the United States. The new passport is readable and contains a biometric chip. However, it appears the real issue is the new GBD code. The spokesperson explaining the passports affected are those which were issued after May 2016 and printed in the UK by the HMPO. They emphasize that the problem is occurring at ports of entry other than the U.S. pre-clearance at the LF Wade International Airport, and until a resolution is achieved, travelers with a BOTC Bermuda passport issued after May 2016 may be asked to obtain a U.S. visa, and in such cases, persons are advised to cooperate with the authorities of those countries to avoid extreme delays in their travel plans. The spokesperson adding that the Bermuda government will continue to work expeditiously to resolve the issue and will update the general public accordingly. The spokesperson, however, did not explain why the public was not advised of the problem when it was first highlighted to the Department of Immigration. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Stay with us. More news and tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
You can count on us.
Marketplace 90% lean ground from round beef, only $3.99 per pound. Save 50% off extra large slicing tomatoes, just $2.49 per pound. For a quick meal, Healthy Choice soups, only $2.79 for a 15-ounce tin. For a healthy snack, Yoplait yogurt, just $1.09 for a 6-ounce tub. Heinz Easy Squeeze ketchup, only $3.29 for a 20-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
Ahoy, me hearties!
The pirates of Bermuda are back. Hostages have been seized, and it's time to find out if they will be saved or if they will
Walk the plank!
Join the pirates on Sunday, March 5th from 2 p.m. until 4:30 at Number 1 Car Park for food, fun, and entertainment for the whole family. This is Bermuda Sloop Foundation's biggest fundraiser of the year with a goal of $150,000, and all funds raised will go towards student voyages on the Spirit of Bermuda. So join us on Sunday to find out who will
Walk the plank!
Rain date is Sunday, March 12th.
Premier Michael Dunkley tonight confirming that he has received the report from that Commission of Inquiry tasked with investigating the Auditor General's report on the financial years between 2010 and 2012. The report is currently being formatted for public dissemination, and once this is done, the document will be published online with the public notified. Mr. Dunkley says the report will assist in improving the island's public administration. In other news, Jean Atherton, the Health and Seniors Minister, has said her ministry will be able to cope this year despite a slash to her budget of 13%. However, the minister urging the opportunity for people to use the hospital appropriately and to ensure seniors and the disabled are properly looked after. Tarai Trott has our story.
If we're in good health, we need less treatment.
Come April 1st, the budget for the Ministry of Health and Seniors will stand at just over $162 million, a reduction of 13% or $23.6 million. Addressing the media, Health and Seniors Minister Jean Atherton explaining that her ministry had to give way to the island's staggering debt, which currently stands at $2.4 billion.
For the first time ever, paying down the country's debt has become the most expensive item in the budget, with health and seniors the second largest spend. I used to be able to say that we were the largest, not that it was a feeling of pride, but for the fact that that was the reality.
One of the biggest threats to long-term health care on the island is the care for seniors and the disabled.
As we've seen, the country's acute care capacity is being impacted by changing demographics. And I have to restate the call that I made before for the whole community to rally together to take care of our elders.
Minister Atherton reiterating the need for hospital use to be appropriate.
Our one acute care hospital is not meant to be used for housing. The recent flu outbreak reminded us that beds are needed for the acutely ill, rather than for persons who could safely be cared for at home or at home by their families or in another appropriate care situation.
However, there is some good news for healthcare. A recent report found a 1% decrease in total health spending locally since 2015.
We are working to ensure this reduction translates into lower premiums for the population, and we count on the support of private health insurers to reflect similar trends when premiums are adjusted over the next couple of months. Healthcare providers are the lifeblood of any health system. Strong collaboration between public and private healthcare providers and economies found by working together cooperatively will enable us to reduce costs while sustaining quality.
Statistics show that Bermuda's per capita healthcare costs rank as the second highest in the developed world, second only to the United States. The minister reports that Bermuda has started to bend the curve since 2011, and the island is now seeing sustained reductions in total health expenditure. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Mrs. Atherton also urging residents to first go to their primary care doctor in the event of illness and not the hospital's emergency room, which she stresses should be used for emergencies only. In other news, additional police to walk the beat and a boost in the number of qualified firearms officers at the ready. Just some of the highlights to the budget for the upcoming fiscal period. National Security Minister Jeff Barron told Tarai Trott today government has placed the country's security high on its list of priorities, as made clear by a boost in spending in the budget. Tarai Trott reports.
The new firearms officers will be brought in from the UK, something National Security Minister Jeff Barron says is unavoidable.
Why overseas? Well, these officers will come with a certain degree of experience, operational experience, and they will be qualified firearms officers as per the manual of guidance, which all United Kingdom territories come under. So,
meantime, the increase to the national security budget will mean police will be able to hire 15 additional local officers this fiscal year.
And we're looking at putting together an academy, the police training school, by the end of the summer. And so we'll have, Bermudians who wish to join, who missed the mark last time, or the funding wasn't available last year, 2 years ago, to join the police service. It's an honorable career. Of course, I spent 9 years there.
Good news for the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service. Government plans to purchase a brand new ladder truck, something fire officials say was desperately needed during the catastrophic Front Street fire of 2016.
That's right. And Trey, I knew that you'd be excited about hearing about this, because you were one of those journalists who were asking the tough questions, but the right questions. I think when we had that significant fire incident on Front Street last year. And look, we have in the ministry over 1,300 associates. Their health and safety is paramount for me. We've made the funding available within this ministry and that specific department so that this year we will be getting a new truck. It's going to be a brand new truck through the company. They've worked that out.
But the Fire and Rescue Service needs more than a truck, which is why their budget for the fiscal period will also include money to hire an additional 10 to 12 officers.
So the investment piece is really important for public safety across the island.
Minister Barron very excited about the Junior Leaders Program in the Royal Bermuda Regiment.
Other charities have had to help them out, and this year we're happy to be able to provide them $100,000 to get them to not only enhance what the program's doing now, but provide them that overseas trip that they've to East Anglia that they've done before.
For the upcoming fiscal year, national security ranks as the third highest in terms of government spending, projected to be nearly $147 million, an increase of $3 million over the previous budget. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Meantime, Shadow Tourism Minister Jamal Simmons questioning the reason behind the delay in the start of construction at the new hotel property in St. George's by the Desarrollos Group, a situation he says must be corrected given the low employment figures in the tourism sector.
With tourism jobs dropping by 2.9% last year and job growth only being seen in non-Bermudian jobs, it is critical that the hotel project at St. George's come online to give jobs, opportunities, and hope to the many Bermudians that are out of work, looking for opportunities, and losing hope. Since the announcement of the St. George's project, we have had several groundbreaking dates announced with great fanfare. Yet each date has passed with no explanation and no apology from the One Bermuda Alliance.
Now, I've been advised, Mr. Simmons, that the delay may have to do with the granting first of the casino license. That was, as we're told, eventually done, or at least a provisional license granted. But now we're being made to understand that the application fee, the cost of the application fee for that casino license is what is proving to be the bugbear.
We shouldn't have to hear whispers and things from behind the scenes. The government should be coming clean and letting us know what is happening. If it is moving ahead, we need to know when. So many people are out of work. They need to have an explanation as to what is really going on.
And that was Jamal Simmons speaking there with Gary Moreno. Turning to weather news, cloudy and a few showers for our Wednesday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. I'm AccuWeather's Shanae Shagar. Well, today, a pretty dreary day, pretty cloudy out there. We did have our cold front slip off to our east, but as this storm has pushed off that way, we've kind of been set up right in a band of clouds with a couple of sprinkles around, and unfortunately, we could continue to see just a touch of wet weather in through tonight as well. But currently, our highs or our current temperatures, 69 degrees across the island here, humidity right around 68% as we do continue to see those slow-moving bands of clouds pass through our region. Tonight, our winds out of the southeast, 14 to 16 knots, so a little bit breezy out there, but our waves in and outside the reef are fairly calm. So for tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy, breezy conditions going to stick around. Can't rule out that chance of a drizzle as we do have those clouds set up pretty much right over our region. But then as we head into tomorrow, we're going to stick with a little bit of breezy weather, but then we'll have some sunshine work its way back in. But unfortunately, wet weather will return as we head into the evening and into Friday as well. As far as our tidal conditions are concerned, tonight at just before 10:45 this evening, we're looking at our first high tide, and we'll have our second high tide just before 11 o'clock tomorrow, wrapping up tomorrow with a low tide just after 5 for your Thursday. So as we take a look at our gateway forecast, good news, well, the northeast out towards New York and Boston, we're drying out here. Partly cloudy conditions in for our Thursday after we saw some stronger thunderstorms pass through the East Coast. And out towards Miami, a couple of showers and maybe even a thunderstorm going to push into the region as well as that cold front begins to drag through. Now across the Caribbean, continuing to see those strong to moderate trade wind flow showers as well. So they should be brief and passing, but overall for us, unfortunately, we'll continue to see some very wet weather really into early next week as well. We'll have another front approach the region and see some very gusty, windy conditions in through our Friday night with winds gusting past 40 miles per hour and some downpours continuing for our Friday. We'll see scattered showers over the weekend as we see some lingering moisture, but the bigger deal right here are the cooler temperatures. Unfortunately, we're going to be sitting in those lower 60s, and with the breeze, going to feel slightly colder than that. By the time we roll into Monday, could see a lingering scattered shower, but overall will begin to dry out at that point. Make sure you do stay tuned to your local radio stations, Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all of your weather news and updates.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Oh, hey guys.
We want you back, Linda.
Look, we just don't need to count you anymore. Our new Certa Perfect Sleeper helps solve 5 common sleep problems.
We can change!
Can you support us as much as our Perfect Sleeper?
No.
Then I'm sorry.
Wait, is Jerry around?
He is sleeping.
I think she's coming around.
Stop counting sheep to get to sleep. Discover the perfect mattress for you at Bermuda's largest sleep center. Big Savings Zone, Southside, St. David's.
Calling all Bermudian University graduates. Have you considered a fast-paced and rewarding career in financial regulation?
As Bermuda's sole financial services regulator, the Bermuda Monetary Authority plays a key role in our success in the international business arena.
If you are driven, focused, and ready to challenge yourself, then apply to our graduate training program.
Visit bma.bm for details or check out our Facebook page.
We're accepting applications from January 3rd until March 31st.
The Bermuda Monetary Authority's graduate training program.
Challenge yourself.
In football news, Nakeem Wells and his Huddersfield teammates bowed out of the English FA Cup, going down 5-1 to Manchester City in their replay earlier this evening. Now here's Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
Delray Rollins was greeted by family as he returned to the LF Wade International Airport last evening for some rest and relaxation following his performances for the England under-19 team over in India. Rollins was happy with his approach to the tour overall because of basics and
just sticking to my game plans and what managed to work for me in the end. Watching a little bit of the test that England played over there and the one-day series that they played, trying to pick little things from them and then building it around my game plan, and luckily most of it came off, and very pleased to do well, the first game especially, and carried on throughout the series.
Salim Talbot, the founder and president of newly promoted Crossroads Football Club, is excited that they got promoted, but for him it's not just about football.
Well, we want to continue to improve our football, but also our social outreach programs, which has been the intention from the beginning, and that is to produce better citizens, better people, and therefore better families, so that Bermuda can be better. And so football we love, and we've always loved this sport because it's a great sport. But we use football as a means to an end also, and that is to uplift the people involved in the sport, whether it be the referees, the spectators, the players, their families, their parents, and so on. So for us, it's a big picture. It's a big picture.
The Bermuda Amateur Swimming Association has updated the short course meter records, with Elin and Elijah Daly combining to break 11 records while competing in the Swim Ontario Winter Festival. Elijah in the boys 9 and 10-year-old age group set new records in the 50-meter freestyle with a time of 29:31, the 100-meter freestyle with a time of 103:11, the 400-meter freestyle in the time of 4:53:99, the 100-meter butterfly in a time of 109:71, the 100-meter IM in a time of 112:85, and the 200-meter IM with a time of 2:36:81. Elin Daly, competing in the girls 11-year-old events, set new records in the 50-meter freestyle with a time of 26:52, the 100-meter freestyle in a time of 58:38, the 100-meter backstroke in a time of 106:62, the 100-meter butterfly in a time of 105 flat, and the 200-meter IM in a time of 2:23:82. While Bermuda's Winter Olympic hopeful Matthew Lejour is in the North Star, California, preparing for his third NORAM competition, his brother John Lejour finished on the podium competing in the President's Mongol Challenge in Telluride. John Lejour finished on top of the podium in the under-15 age group and fourth place overall with a score of 77-51 among 63 skiers. Two pools of national youth teams have been drawn in the Red Bull Youth America's Cup that will take place later this summer in Bermuda. Bermuda have been drawn in Pool B alongside New Zealand Sailing Team, Land Rover BAR Academy, Spanish Impulse Team from Spain, Next Generation USA, Candidate Sailing Team out of Austria. Pool A consists of Artemis Youth Racing, Team France, Team Japan, Youth Vikings Denmark, Team Tote from Switzerland, and Team Germany. The 2017 ITU World Triathlon Series debuts this weekend, bringing the top triathletes from all over the world to compete in the most prestigious 9-stop tour event for the sport. For the third consecutive year, the series will begin in Abu Dhabi. Current world champion Bermudian Flora Duffy will not be participating. However, fear not, Bermuda will be represented in Patty Patty, who is an ITU official with experience of several Olympic Games and World Championships under her belt. Durban may be unable to host the 2022 Commonwealth Games because of financial constraint, the South African sports minister has been quoted as saying. However, with that news comes the news that Liverpool has offered to host the 2022 Commonwealth Games. Liverpool, which was bidding to host the 2026 Games, has offered to step up in the event Durban cannot host the Games. The Commonwealth Games Federation are soon to make a decision. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Red Ripe Florida strawberries, just $3.99 for a 1-pound package. Save $1.80 per pound on Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs, only $1.89 per pound. Ajax 2X regular or with bleach laundry detergent, just $5.69 for a 50-ounce bottle. Select varieties of Series 100% juice, only $2.79 for a 1-liter box. Bluebonnet margarine sticks, $1.79 for a 1-pound package. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m., Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us. I have been crazy, but that's just alright. Alright. My feelings, I don't hide them from me. Not, alright. Come and get it if you're ready, darling. Come and get it if you're ready, ready. Come and get it if you're ready, let's roll it. Come and get it if you're ready, let's do it.
A few weeks ago, we showed you our talented young middle and high school students gearing up for a contest of craftsmanship. Their creations are now on display, and you still have time to make one yours. Gary Foster Skelton has more.
The young competitors in the Kids in Construction contest have learned that hard work bears fruit, and that fruit is now on display and up for grabs in the Washington Mall.
Welcome all to the first annual Kids in Construction event, hosted by the Construction Association of Bermuda.
Design technology students from Bermuda's middle and high schools have been pitted against each other in a show of skill and craftsmanship, and Construction Association President Charles Dunstan opened the exhibit.
For years, we've been rolling out and designing events that try to highlight the value of construction in our industry and our economy. This event is basically designed to build enthusiasm for our next generation.
Middle school students have been designing mailboxes, while high school teams have constructed garden sheds, and they are competing for prizes in areas such as creativity, use of recycled materials, and best storage.
The participants seem to have gotten a huge boost out of this. The teachers are energized, they're excited.
I hear them talking about the thrill of getting something finished.
Patricia Gordon-Pamplin and New Education Minister Cole Simons praised the endeavour and the enthusiasm it has created among the students.
Something like this here will provide another opportunity for young people to learn through hands-on experience.
A very hearty thank you to the Construction Association for recognizing not just the talent, but the importance of developing our young people.
Students still had to deal with minor glitches as the deadline approached, such as the display area being unable to accommodate one of the garden shed roofs. But the contest is now on, and every item is being auctioned off, with funds going towards the Construction Association's scholarship scheme, and overall winners being decided by the highest bid. Canadian construction company Aecon, who will be working closely with the Construction Association as the development of Bermuda's new airport gets underway, stepped in as the top sponsor for the contest. Senior advisor Frank Ross was whisked away with the talent on display.
I think it's fantastic. I haven't seen this type of a competition at home in Canada. Their innovation and their thoughts and the different things they've done, I think it's great.
Additional creations were added to the display over the weekend, and you can see them all at Phase 3 near the Washington Mall Food Court, as well as the Construction Association Facebook page. Bids can be placed at the exhibit or on Facebook, and the auction closes on Thursday, with the winners being announced on Friday.
Have a look around and please bid.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. Good night.